last day of term. Really feels like it's crept up fast. Week 6 seemed like yesterday, and going through Year 11 exam weeks and everything else that's happening at the school, it just seems to have disappeared. Today is Year 12's last day at school. When we come back from holidays, they kick into exams, and then this year for a first, our graduation and formal will be after all of the exams. We're kind of hoping that, in the past we've had issues with some kids like just not showing up to exams. Only a small percentage, but I feel like they go through graduation and the formal and feel like it's all over, but they still have the exams to do and they don't put in their biggest effort. So this year, exams first, formal and graduation happen after the exams close towards the end of next term. Exams go for 5 weeks starting first week back. Today is also the last day for a few of our staff. Our head teacher English got another head teacher job up the North Coast. He always says like he never saw himself leaving our school. He went to our school as a student, was Dux of Year 12, Dux of the school, went off and did some other things, then became a teacher, started doing casual with us, ended up getting appointed, and then when the head teacher job came up, went for it, got it, again, felt like he was giving back to the school that gave to him. He and his wife started rescuing brumbies, which are horses from the Kosciuszko National Park. Amazing part of our Australian history. The government tends to want to cull them because of their damage, and that's because they were just set free. And anyway, long story, but he and his wife, as part of another organisation, began rescuing the horses. And he said, you know, he never saw himself being a horse person, bought a horse float. They were adjusting the horses on property out of Megalong Valley, the other side of the mountains. They really wanted to be able to have somewhere where they could be with the horses, so property. They went ahead and bought 19 acres up north, and apparently a big house, a really big house. Everybody's been saying how big the house is that he got. Wasn't cheap, but for the same money, you get a 2-bedroom duplex down in Emu Plains now. It's ridiculous, the prices in Sydney. He finishes up today. We're also losing another staff member who got a job at a different school. Just decided it was her time to move on. She finishes up today. One of my staff members, who at the moment is just a temporary, going through her final year of uni. We were really hoping that she was going to be able to be appointed to us to replace my staff member who went to Western Australia, because she's not coming back. We've asked about whether she's relinquishing her position because it's coming up to due time that she needs to, if she's not coming back, and she said yes. She still hasn't done so. As a result, the principal was not able to basically advertise the position at all, was not able to ask the department to have this staff member we have be appointed to our school because we need the teacher. And as a result, she got appointed to another school. That school also offered to have her do her final prac there next term and just roll into her appointment. Economically, a sound decision for her. For us, it's tough. It means 3 staff leaving. I've got to do some timetable rejigging again. We've also been crazily dismantling all of the desks in the staff room because we're getting new built-in desks put in around the whole wall. Attached to the wall, you're going to be able to access all of the cables because the current desks were massive, heavy units, big backs on them, They sat out a little bit from the wall. They had big partitions in between them. They were modular, but basically all attached. And we've been dismantling them over the last 2 days. Hopefully, definitely, we have to get the last of them dismantled today, and then I'm going to get my metal kids to dismantle the units, the parts, to take all of the aluminium off, remove all the steel screws and brackets, and take the MDF panels out. That way I can recycle all of the aluminium, get some money back into the school. I did offer the desks out to both our school and the primary school to see if there was anybody who wanted them. Didn't get any input, but either way, the company putting in the new ones said we needed to have those removed because it was such a massive undertaking to have them removed. It wasn't like just moving some tables out of a room for them to go in and work. So the place looks like an absolute bomb site. It's just stuff everywhere, stuff stacked up on the center table. We're going to have to move some more stuff out so that they can work in there a little bit easier. Probably put it all into the computer room next door. I booked the computer room for the last period so that no other person could go in there, so that we can just spend that last period putting stuff into that room. Crazy time. In regards to the timetable, the lines that we had set for year 11, while good, weren't good enough. Some of the lines really had no choice for students who still hadn't chosen, which kind of said, right, but if we get new enrolments, there's no choice for them either, because the line would be filled up with classes that have no room at all and other classes that have room, but they're kind of very specialised subjects. You really want to do those. I reran the line timetables, fiddling with the algorithm a few times. Finally came up with the lines that look more even. There is 7 subjects per line. Before it was mixing them up, putting 6 on one, 8 on another, and just has remained really poor. So now they're all got 7 subjects on the lines. I know that maths will not be happy because I have split maths across 2 lines, advanced and standard 2 on one line, so the kids can move between those 2, and standard 2, standard 1 and numeracy on another line, so the kids can move on between those ones. It will mean the kids will have to do a bit more swapping and changing if they're from general 2 on that one and they want to go to advanced, or from general 2 on that one who want to go down to general 1, not general standard. But mathematics is not compulsory, and as such it is just an elective subject like every other subject. The timetable has been built to suit the student cohort. There are now more options to choose from on the lines that have maths, just in case the students say, I don't want to do maths anymore, what else can I do? Because in the past it's like maths or ag, maths or hospitality, that fills up, no room to move. Maths or exploring early childhood, maths or arts, photography, those classes become massive and then there's no room for them. So there's more than one subject available on the maths lines now, on both of the maths lines. More room for movement, more choice for the students. The school just doesn't know this yet, because the boss and I made that decision yesterday after some discussion. He had a good look at the lines. I gave him the 2 options that I'd come up with, and he liked that one the best for the school. I was going to email it out last night, but I was tired. So when I get to work, I'll need to find somewhere to sit down since I don't have a desk anymore, and I'll email that out, and then over the break I'll work on their allocation sheets. But I'll ask them to start thinking about their allocations in the meantime. so cute. First day of the holidays, midday. I overslept my alarm this morning, which you could kind of go, well, you're on holidays, so what? But it also means that I slept past Batman's feeding time for breakfast. I felt bad. Woke up just after 7 instead of 5:30. I slept through 2 alarms. I turned them off in a half sleep and fell back asleep. I've hung up some laundry. I've done 2 more loads, or I put 2 more loads on. One's in the dryer, one's in the wash. Hope to get on with that dressing room. Wife bought another hanging rack solution for that room because the system that she bought that had shelves and hanging just wasn't working as a solution for the whole room. The hanging system arrived during the week, so I haven't unboxed it yet, and figure out how we're gonna use the 2 systems together. Vanity that she got, that white one that I went and collected weeks ago, is a lot wider than the one that I had fixed up, which means that her bookshelf doesn't fit next to it. So she's trying to find another shelf that will fit next to it, next to the back door. It's a long process. If it's not done these holidays, I'm going to be really pissed. It better be. The place is just chaos, and we need to remove that chaos to feel a bit better. So today I am making new trim, or I've made new trim. I threw a little 1/2 inch round over into my little router, ran it along both sides of this piece of trim, which is the perfect length because I believe this was the trim that was at the top of the window that I took off so that I could put the corners up. So it ran the length of the room, or the width of the room. But I've rounded over both sides as a just in case, after that other one snapped on me. I've then set this to, I think I set it to 15. So you'll see that this is, it's 12 mil high, 15 wide. The gap that needed to be covered at the edge of the flooring at the balcony door was 12 mil, but I wanted to make sure that it overlapped a little bit more, and I've made it shorter than the door step so that it didn't stick up to become a big clump. I've taken it up, I've tested it out, it feels good. So now I'm just painting it. This thing's fantastic, and I like how it has this extra little fence that folds down so that you can actually get your push stick into this space without trying to ride right up against the side of the fence. Gives you a little bit of playroom. Means you've got to do some calculations here, because when I was right up against the blade it was at 52 mil. So I came up to 14, which was 64, which is 12 mil. Then I just went another 3. But I've just thrown on my first coat of paint. It's quite warm today, so it'll probably dry pretty quick. I'll do a couple of more coats before taking it up and nailing and caulking it in. Might be able to see in the background too, I finally thrashed down the backyard. I haven't raked anything up, but I just went around it with the brush cutter blade on the whippersnipper, which doesn't cut too close to the ground. Now I think I'll go around it with the mower again in a day or so to pick it all up As it was, it took me 2 hours just to do the backyard with the brush cutter blade. The brush cutter blade doesn't have as big a diameter of like an arc of cutting sweep as the nylon line, but it doesn't keep breaking like the nylon line. And my bump feed is getting to the point where I think it's going to break soon. It's the second bump feed I've had for this now. Hi Ava. You come out back? Hey? Ava. Come on. Ava. Ava. She's got a mind of her own. Come on. Come, Dad. Ava. Come, Dad. Come on. Ava. He's just a little fella. There you go. Off you go. Now you don't want to get off. Come on. Come on. Gotta let go now. There we go. There he is. Just take cover somewhere, alright?